What's up, guys? Sean Russell from Menprovement.com here with a great interview. I was able to get some time with Megan Collins from StyleGirlfriend.com to bring you guys some insider fashion tips from a woman's point of view. If you like the video, subscribe and check us out at Menprovement.com. Enjoy. Hi, guys. Welcome to my interview series. This is actually my first interview with a very special and beautiful guest, Megan Collins,
Hi, guys.
aka the Style Girlfriend. So why don't you tell us a little about yourself and why the world knows you as a Style Girlfriend?
Yeah, absolutely. I started Style Girlfriend a little over 3 years ago, first actually as a favor to a friend who was starting up a custom suiting business. And I was doing a bunch of freelance writing at the time, and he says, why don't you write something for the site? Why don't you write, an article a week, a column a week on what women like to see guys wearing? Which was great because I definitely do not have a fashion background. I don't, I don't come from like the fashion world at all. So
Yeah.
I said, I certainly have opinions though on what guys are wearing, whether it's good or bad. And so I always just sort of came at things as a fan, not an expert. It was just me trying to help out the guy in the street look a little better for his wife or his girlfriend or that girl that he's trying to impress at, work or at the end of the bar. So it was always something where I wanted to sort of help guys get over that fear of like, oh, am I doing this wrong? And maybe not wanting to ask their friends that, and they can come to Style Girlfriend and sort of put that out there and feel like they're in a safe space.
Absolutely, because their friends probably don't know much better either, to be honest. Most of my friends are.
It's possible.
So, were you always interested in men's fashion?
Uh, I tell a story that when I was a little kid, I was the youngest of three, and my brother was in the middle, and so I would get his hand-me-downs instead of my sister's. And I loved it. I was actually a huge tomboy until I was like 11, except that I was in gymnastics and like a diver, so I wasn't like full tomboy, like, football or anything like that, but I definitely wore a lot of my brother's old clothes, and I like, made my mom take me to get a bowl cut because I was like, oh, I don't want my hair in my face when I'm playing. So I definitely have sort of that tomboy background. And, my brother had this like amazing starter jacket when we were younger, and I was like, oh, I can't wait until he outgrows that. I'm going to get that starter jacket. So I've definitely sort of always had an affinity for it. And even now today, I still dress in a lot of, like sportswear. So definitely,
Yeah.
and, I love a good sneaker. And so I definitely identify kind of with guys in that way.
No, that's cool, actually. Um, One thing I wanted to ask you was, is this what you wanted to do your whole life when you were young? Is this what you,
I wanted to write. I don't, I didn't necessarily think about how I wanted to do that or if I wanted to sort of go down one avenue, but what I always wanted to do was communicate. I wanted to make sure that my voice was heard and that people could get something useful from what I had to say. And so, I mentioned that I was doing a bunch of different freelance writing when I first started doing Style Girlfriend, and actually I realized that, pretty quickly that Style Girlfriend was something that a lot of people related to and kind of got on board with. So it just sort of pretty quickly became more and more of what I did, and I did less and less of the other writing that I was doing. So it did come about by accident, but I feel really lucky to have kind of stumbled into it because there's not really that many female voices in menswear, and I think that it can be a really like intimidating process to get into. Like as soon as a guy is like, you know what, I really need to kind of up my style game, he might look at, GQ and see a $6,000 suit, or he might go on a menswear site and they're talking about like some specific style of shoe that's only available at some like tiny store in Japan. And it's like, okay, well, if this is men's style, like I can't have any part of this. So I feel like it's nice that Style Girlfriend can kind of talk to the guy who's maybe shopping at the mall or, just kind of getting started out in improving his style. And I mean, I still shop at the mall. So like, I don't totally understand it when that group is disenfranchised. Like,
I agree with you because a lot of the stuff out there is a little crazy and a little over the top. I'm not going to be wearing like a $5,000 suit anytime soon.
I know.
One day, but
Sure.
I like your site a lot because it's very down to earth, very basic. Anyone can go there and
figure some stuff out, figure out some good looks, and it's from a girl's point of view. So, as much as guys don't want to admit it, we think we know everything, and
Right.
I think I look good half the time. I probably don't. I wish I had my own little personal style girlfriend. So is this your full-time job now?
Yeah.
Can you tell me, can you go through a run through of a day or a week in your life? What are you up to?
Yeah, absolutely. I went full time last April, so it's actually my work anniversary this month, which is exciting for me. But every day is somewhat different. I'm really lucky in that, I get to get up and, maybe I get up at 6:30 and I work for a couple of hours and then I go to the gym at 10. And so it's totally dead and I get to, do whatever I want. And then come back, maybe get showered, head into the city because I live in Brooklyn. So a lot of meetings that I take are in Manhattan.
Okay.
So I'll go into the city for meetings and then a lot of times there's events at night. And the thing is I have to kind of remind myself that events are still work because sometimes I feel if I decide to take a break at 4 o'clock and watch an episode of, Scandal on Hulu or something that's okay because I'm going to be working until 10 o'clock at night and I need to give myself a bit of a break. So I think for me, while there's not a typical day, what I've had to learn to build in is the personal time. Because when you work for yourself, you could literally work around the clock. And I sometimes, I sometimes do work probably more than I should to keep my sanity. But when it's, when it's something that you're passionate about, it makes it not feel so drudgery or anything like that.
No, I know exactly what you mean because, I'm trying to work for myself, but I also work as an engineer 9 to 5 in Westchester, actually.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, and it's, I have no personal time right now, but
yeah,
I know I'll be where you are one day, so looking forward to that. But it sounds like you have a lot of fun. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. It's one of those things where I think a lot you see bloggers with these huge followings and everything like that, and they seem like overnight successes because you've just heard of them, but the thing is they might have had that blog going for 3 years before anybody really started following it, and they've been doing the whole working 2 jobs and all that kind of thing. So yeah, the whole sort of celebrity culture of bloggers is very confusing to me because I feel what I do is actually pretty it still feels like a job. It still feels like something where getting up and heading to work every day, even if I'm just heading to my my office space to do that.
Yeah. Do you have a home office or?
Yeah, I live in Brooklyn, but it's still we don't have that much space here, so I sort of designated one side of my living room and I've got my desk set up and I'm lucky I have thank goodness the computers are so portable these days because if I do go stir crazy, I can go into the city. I belong to a club there that I can work from and I can meet other friends that kind of have similar positions as me in terms of being a little bit more flexible and we'll work together, just to kind of give each other some company. But
yeah. How long has your site been up actually? The actual website? The
site's been up for about 2.5 years because for a while it was just on my friend's website. It was just sort of a component of his site. And then I
got a little column.
Exactly. And then I bought the URL and, the rest is history as it were. I started out on Tumblr and then I moved to WordPress.
Yeah. I'm 9 months in, so.
It's exciting.
It is exciting. I'm actually leaving my job at the end of the month because it's just, I want to leave that job anyway. I don't love doing it. And I'm making money now, surprisingly.
That's great.
I think I could roll with it, figure something out.
That's super exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you. Got to go for it, right?
Absolutely. And I think what you have to do is consider the worst case scenario. Not that is going to happen or not that you want it to, but if worst comes to worst, you can get another engineering job. You're not going to be desperate out on the street, unable to pay your rent. Yeah. So I think once you kind of get over the idea that the worst case scenario isn't that bad, making that leap to a more entrepreneurial lifestyle isn't so scary.
Yeah. So were you working 2 jobs at one point? I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. When I first graduated, I was working in advertising and I pretty quickly realized that was not my passion. And it was just something where it's a really demanding job. So unless you're 2 feet in, drink the Kool-Aid, this is what I'm meant to do, it does turn into, pretty, it turns into a grind. So I was I'm too young to think that I have to do this for the rest of my life. So that's when I started freelance writing, and took on like a bazillion things. And so, yeah, I'd go to work and every night I'd come
Yeah.
home and keep working on other things. So, yeah, it's absolutely something where, I mean, unless you are like a trust fund kid or something, like you do have to be living sort of two lives for a while until you get enough
Yeah.
of a following and can, do it full time, without having to support yourself in another way.
Yeah. You gotta hustle.
Always be
When
hustling. Yes. I still
when
have
did
to
you know?
hustle.
What point were you at when you were like, all right, I'm good. Like I don't have to work anymore.
What's that?
When did what was the point where you kind of knew that you didn't have to work anymore, you were good?
Oh, I didn't. I mean, I
Still a
jumped
leap.
off a cliff. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was making money, but I also knew that I was never going to be able to make it be a career and have the income that I wanted unless I really devoted all my attention to it, because there was things that I couldn't, like I was having to turn down opportunities because I just didn't have the bandwidth or like the time.
Yeah.
So I sort of had to make an educated guess that I would be okay if I went full
Mhm.
time and left my other, I ended up sort of just dropping other freelance writing projects that were more steady, in favor of going full time on Style Girlfriend, and it's worked out. But I think that you like the right time to go off on your own is like just before you feel ready. Like as soon as you start saying like, you know what, in another 2 months, oh, in another 3 months, like that's when you're like, you gotta be like, nope, I just gotta do it now because otherwise I'm never gonna do it.
That's exactly what happened to me. That's where I was 3 or 4 months ago, sitting there, staring at the wall every day. And,
Yeah.
I've got, everything kind of blew up in the last month. I went from 1,000 to 4,000 visitors a day in a month.
That's
And
amazing.
I know. And I'm getting like 20 emails a day. I can't even handle them right now.
That's
I'm at
awesome.
work, like answering emails
Yeah,
all the time.
sure you are. Like
I'd probably get fired anyway if I didn't quit. So, I mean, I might as well. But
that's great.
it's inspiring to hear
Like,
that.
what do you think was the reason for your, the bump up in numbers for you?
I think Google just kind of
Found
put
you?
some trust in me. Yeah, it's all Google traffic, which is good, It's
Yeah.
not just like stumble upon or something. But I mean, things are good, so hoping for good things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so I guess we'll jump into some actual style tips. What everyone wants to hear. I could jabber on for hours, but um, so what do you think are the most common style mistakes that you see guys making today?
I think guys wear their clothes either too big or too small. I think that most guys would benefit from, taking nearly everything in their closet to a tailor and having, pants taken up or in or out or, whatever it might be. I think for the most part, it's that guys are wearing clothes too big. I mean, obviously there's always going to be like those muscle heads walking around, in tees that are like this tight. But yeah, for the most part, I think it's that guys don't necessarily think to take clothing that they buy off the rack to a tailor. I mean, it's not that expensive, and it makes such a big difference in how your clothes look. I think that if you start to kind of budget in to say, okay, well, I'm going to buy, these $70 pants and just assume that I'm going to pay $20 in tailoring, just start thinking I'm going to buy $90 pants. Like just kind of think of it that way. And then you don't even have to kind of have it in your head of like, oh, and I have to, pay that price. I really think that nearly everything in your closet, including like polo shirts, jeans, like I think so many things will look better on a guy, or a guy will look better wearing if they're more, tailored to his body.
That's a really interesting and really good, because I don't do that, and I probably should. I actually bought a like 225 pair of Burberry jeans.
Oh man.
When I first started working, I was stupid. I bought like so many shoes, so many clothes. I never had money before.
Yeah.
And they don't even fit. I never wear them. I wore them one time because they're too wide. I need to get them tailored. But that's a really good tip.
And that thing is, so many guys have stuff in their closet where they're like, oh, I bought it because it was on clearance, or I bought it, but it just doesn't fit right. So, it just sits in your closet, and that's a shame. So, I mean, if you spent, instead of going and buying a new pair of jeans, you could take that pair of jeans to the tailor, pay a fraction of what you would for new jeans, and feel like you have new jeans. So it's really sort of this idea of shopping your closet.
Exactly. No, that's great. All right. So first date. say a guy takes you to a nice restaurant, nothing crazy.
Right.
What's a perfect look for him to impress you, but not look like he's, trying way too hard?
I think suit separates is always a great move. I think a sport coat and either jeans or like dress pants is just perfect. You can wear a dress shirt unbuttoned, have it be like a little bit contrasting, obviously, again, like you said, it's a nice restaurant, but it's not like uber fancy. So you don't necessarily have to wear, you're not wearing a full suit, you're not wearing a tie, but I think it's about sort of staying put together,
Yeah.
So tucking that shirt in. So wearing dress shoes instead of sneakers. Like I think it's those small things that sort of elevate your look from everyday to special occasion.
Yeah. Looking clean, right?
Yeah, looking like you put some
care.
effort in. I think that's the thing that a lot of guys don't realize is it's okay to look like you care about your appearance.
Mhm.
Like women appreciate that. It's not something where it's like, oh geez, what a, like diva? I don't even know, or like metrosexual, like which I don't even think is like a term.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone sees it that way. I think you're taking out a woman on a first date, you want her to think you look nice. Like there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah,
Absolutely.
whatever feels a little extra special for you, I think is what's important. And hey, if you're going bowling, like then yeah, wear jeans, but maybe put some product in your hair or maybe wear a more instead of a t-shirt. It's just like that little bump up.
No, I agree. That's great. How about matching? I had a trainer in college who every day would match his shoes with his shirt.
Wow.
I thought it looked ridiculous. I never got to that point, but I went through a little phase where like my socks always matched my whatever color shirt I was wearing.
Wow.
And I thought it looked good, but what do you think about that? What's your take on matching? What's overmatching and what's a happy medium?
Well, your tie and your pocket square should never match. Like you should never like get like that's I've seen sets at department stores where it's like you get the pocket square and the tie and the da-da-da. You don't want to match that. You don't want the red tie and the red pocket square. That's too much. As far as matching your socks, I'm all about complementary colors, not necessarily matching. So maybe if you're wearing a, pink shirt, maybe it's sort of like almost red socks, so it's staying in the color family. But not necessarily
like pink stripes with some other colors or something. That's
exactly
kind of what I went through.
I think guys that wear sort of things that are matching like feel like it's a safe way to go. It's like, well, it matches, so it looks good. But I think the more fun thing to do is to just kind of try things out. Like if you can find a color in a tie, maybe it's a pattern tie and there's orange and blue and green, then like pick one color and wear socks in that color or socks in that color with another color. Like I think that you shouldn't be afraid to not clash, but you shouldn't be afraid to kind of mix colors together and patterns and fabrics and sort of see what happens. I think the more interesting an outfit looks, the better.
Yeah. No, that's good. It's true.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes I feel like you look like you're trying too hard if you match everything perfectly.
And it just makes you look a little nervous that you like can't. I just think that if you stick to one color all over, like it makes you look like you don't totally know what you're doing. So you're just kind of like playing it safe.
Yeah. Okay. The next question is a little different. How do you feel about facial hair?
I'm all for it. As long as it doesn't scratch the girl when you kiss her, I think it's totally fine. So if you're going to have facial hair, just make sure that you're moisturizing and that, if you have a full beard or a goatee or a mustache, just make sure that it's soft. Like nobody wants to be, rubbed the wrong way by facial hair. But yeah, I think it's a particular preference. So some women might not like it at all. Some women might want you to grow like a big bushy, woodsman beard, and that's it's kind of up to the individual. But if you're gonna have it, just keep it neat, keep it clean, get rid of the neck beard stuff. Like just make it look intentional and not just like, oh, I haven't bought new razors in a month.
Yeah. How about a nice mane of chest hair?
That's what men look like. That's totally fine.
But
right.
I look like a little boy.
Obviously I don't love back hair. Like if you can get rid of that, I think that's probably for the best because I don't think any guy feels comfortable with back hair even. Like I'm not here saying like, oh, you look disgusting, but I don't think probably a man feels very confident on at a beach or at a pool if he pulls his shirt off and has a lot of back hair. So I think that if it's something where you are going to feel better about yourself if you get rid of that body hair, then go for it. I mean, women do the same thing all the time and there's nothing wrong with it. Again, I think it's about what makes you feel the most confident.
Absolutely. So you think waxing is a fair game, I guess?
Waxing is fair game. Now there's laser hair treatment that, is becoming more and more affordable and easier to do. And I think that's like a really great option because it's permanent. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a totally acceptable option. I have a friend that works at a laser hair spa and she says she sees more and more and more male clients every single day. And I can't blame them. I mean, just like, I have to shave my legs and it's a hassle. Like I would see how that would be a hassle for a guy to continually have his back waxed or just have to deal with it all to like feel bad about himself if he feels self-conscious. There's no need for that. Absolutely.
All right. I know this is a preference, but what's your preference? Peacoats or leather jackets? What do you like better?
Oh, that's a good question. I think every man needs a leather jacket. But because there's so many, I'm going to go peacoat just because it looks good on every guy. Like, there's no guy that doesn't look good in a peacoat. Whereas, you might buy a leather jacket and it's like a total biker jacket and you're so not a biker guy. And then you look like there's some sort of dissonance there and it doesn't look good. But I think every guy looks good in a peacoat. And it's a lot more affordable. You can find a good peacoat for not that much money. Whereas if you want a really nice leather jacket that you're going to have forever, it's, it's an investment.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I find I look a little odd in leather jackets because I'm very preppy.
Yeah, so exactly. I mean, you have to really find kind of the right one for you, and that can take a lot of searching. And yeah, if it's just not something you feel super comfortable in, then it's not going to look good. But yeah, I've never met a guy who didn't just totally look. I mean, guys look really handsome in peacoats. Like that's just, I don't know, that's just a fact of life.
All right. How about skinny jeans?
Well, that's what I was saying earlier about, I think that's a mistake that guys make is wearing things too tight. I think, though, that a lot of guys think that a slim straight leg is a skinny jean. And it's not. Like, there's a huge difference between a jean that, looks like it belongs on, like, a singer of a, like, jumping around, and just a jean that goes up and down. So more guys need to get on like the slim straight bandwagon, but no, I don't think, I think skinny jeans, that's a bit much.
A lot of the stuff I see in magazines lately is like these guys dressed in like a suit, nice dress pants and nice dress shoes, no socks, and the ankle showing.
That's a thing now, yeah.
I can never see myself rolling out of the house like that, but you think that you like that? Girls like that?
I mean, I'm in New York City and people are a bit more like fashion forward here. And I don't say that as a good or bad thing. I just mean like people embrace trends a little bit more and are willing to kind of try something. And if it doesn't work, then they don't do it again. But I like it. I think it shows a lot of confidence, but I can totally see how it also is not appropriate for a lot of work environments. Like,
no, yeah.
But, if you're going to like a beach wedding or something, like I could, I think that could be really nice looking. So yeah, I like it, but I also acknowledge that it's not right in a lot of instances and for a lot of guys. But I do like a little bit of ankle to show. Like I think that, when guys have, all this extra fabric at the bottom of their pants, like, and it's kind of pooling around their ankles, that doesn't look good. So I think that, there should be barely a break in your dress pants, barely. And if you cross your legs, I think I should be able to see your socks.
Yeah, see, that's what I was going for.
Yeah.
When I cross my legs, I would have a nice little checkered, blue sock with the blue button down.
Sounds good.
Not bad. Not too bad, right?
Yeah, it sounds like you're doing great.
Okay. So I actually saw you on your Google Plus with the Gant Rugger.
Yeah, the new Gant Rugger women's collection. Awesome. It's great, right?
I actually love their clothes.
Oh, they're the
which
best.
called me to, yeah. Any other brands like that you really recommend, that you really love?
I think you can't go wrong with J. Crew. I think it's a really good price point for the quality that you're getting. Everything from their Ludlow suit to just their like tissue tees, like just their pocket t-shirts. I think, it's got really good have them forever kind of basics that won't really go out of style. So I like that about them. Um, who else? I think every man should own a pair of Clark's desert boots, like a chukka boot, in
Yeah.
like a brown leather. I think that's, again, really affordable, and it dresses up your outfit in a way that you're still just as comfortable as if you were wearing sneakers.
Trying to find my boots. They're laying around there
Are we
somewhere.
gonna
That's
be
exactly what I was wearing today. I don't have them on me, but
But yeah, I mean, don't you think like it's a great way to up your look without, like I said, without being any less comfortable? I think a lot of guys think that to dress up means to be uncomfortable, and it really doesn't have to be. I think a desert boot is, I mean, you could go for a run in desert boots once you've broken them in. So,
yeah. Have you heard of the brand of shoes Clay?
mm-mm. Clay?
No? Clay, CLAE.
Oh, no, I'll have to write it down.
That's what I'm in love with their shoes. They're all I wear, and yeah, they're really nice. You should definitely check them out.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for the reco. I'm always on the lookout for like new brands to recommend to my readers, so it's always super helpful when people are like, "You have to try this."
Oh yeah, I have the one boot. I think it's the Hamilton, and the longer I wear it, the better it looks. Like
Totally.
I get it.
That's how
I get
good
it
footwear
done.
should work. I mean, as long as you take
Yeah.
care of it and,
Yeah.
moisturize and all that.
So I really love those shoes, and I get compliments all the time, and no one knows about it because I think it's online only.
Okay.
But I can't get more compliments than I do, and they look awesome. So
That's great. And I mean, doesn't that make you feel amazing when people are like, "Oh, you look really great." Like, I feel like that's something that if more guys started to kind of up their style game, that would give them the encouragement to keep going. Because I think once someone like stops you and is like, "You look really nice," you're like, "What? Thank you." And
Absolutely.
it feels really good, and it's encouraging. It makes you want to keep sort of trying new things and investing in yourself in that way.
Exactly. And I feel like I had my own like personal brand because no one knows about them. It's so exclusive.
That's nice.
I shouldn't have told you. Maybe I might have to cut that from the interview.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
No.
Everlane is another one that I think does really great things for guys, and they're online only. So is Beckett Simonin. They have shoes. Yeah, there's a lot where it's like you do kind of feel like you've like found something special.
Yeah, hidden gem. I'll check them out. So yeah, any last little tips that you have for any guys out there?
I mean, other than to come to Style Girlfriend every day after they come to you.
Absolutely.
I think don't be afraid to ask for advice. I think that people actually really enjoy kind of putting in their 2 cents. And if, I know that for me, I have a lot of readers that actually do have wives and girlfriends at home, which at first surprised me because I was like, well, why aren't you just talking to her about this? But I think, unfortunately, some women can be, their feedback more comes in a negative way. It's, oh my God, are you really going to wear those jeans again? Or, oh my gosh, have you not gotten that, taken that suit to the tailor yet? Yeesh. Like,
Yeah.
So I think, maybe if a guy is getting that kind of feedback, to speak up and be like, hey, that doesn't really make me want to try harder. Like,
Yeah.
let's have a positive conversation about this. And I'm coming to you and I'm feeling a little bit like vulnerable or whatever it is. So like, let's just please be nice. And I think that even with your guy friends, I think, maybe your guy friends will sort of hassle you a little bit if you start to invest in your personal style. And I bet you saw this when you first.
Actually,
like,
yeah.
Oh, you think you're too good for us now, but really they're just jealous. So like, don't pay them any mind,
Yeah. No, yeah, that's great. It's a good tip. And so what are your plans for the future? Where are we going to see you in a couple of years? TV show, maybe?
That'd be fun. Yeah. I mean, I certainly want to keep expanding the site. I'm bringing on more and more contributors now, which is great because it sort of alleviates the day-to-day stuff for me and lets me focus on bigger projects. So video is something I definitely want to be doing more of. Yeah.
Your videos are awesome, by the way.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice to say.
You have like 7, and the progression from the first 2 to now is like night and day. It's incredible.
I know. It makes me cringe when I think about the early ones, but that's what you have to do. I mean, I think, and that kind of work, it's the same in style. Like you just kind of have to jump in, and you probably are going to screw up a little bit at the beginning and feel a little bit like an idiot, but you just keep going and you can only get better. You can never get worse. So.
Yeah. Well, this is my first interview, so, I'm kind of jumping in right now. So
I love it. Glad to be inaugural,
Absolutely.
christening
Yeah,
Skype
well,
conversations.
happy to have you. So where can everyone find you then?
StyleGirlfriend.com, and I'm on Twitter and Instagram at StyleGF. So find me there, and I'm on YouTube too. So yeah, I'm around.
You're everywhere.
I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't
Check her out,
avoid
guys,
me.
because her stuff
Exactly.
is incredible. It really is. All right, so I guess I'll cut it there. That wasn't so bad, right?
I had a lot of fun. I would have washed my hair for you had I known. I apologize.
No, it's fine. You look great. You do. Just let me know if you want me to do audio or video.
No, video's totally fine. I'm super excited to see it. When do you think it'll go up?
Crazy busy right now, and I'm hoping within the next 2 weeks.
Oh, I thought you were.
I gotta
June
figure
or
out this
something.
whole. Yeah, I gotta figure out this whole video thing and figure it out. But it shouldn't be too bad. Work's crazy right now though, so
Yeah.
it's my last 3 weeks, so they're dumping everything on me. So I come home, I don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah, except for like having a beer and going to bed. I hear that.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I should be able to get it out because I got to get something out within the next 2 weeks. So, but I'll
Nice.
probably subscribe it and hopefully it will rank for something good like style tips or something. We'll